So what we're going to go over tonight is system management and monitoring. And when we're going to talk a little bit about Windows system tools, settings, performance monitoring, application management, Linux app management, and scripting basics. So these topics are good to cover because they're going to really help you diagnose issues within the computing field. And they were going to give you some simple ways to begin to diagnose issues in Windows environments, and also how to begin to monitor performance, which is another way of identifying potential issues. So what I'd like to do is first, let's go through some of the technical coaching questions. So first of all, let's go over some of the technical coaching questions, just a couple here. The first one is, what tools do technicians use to monitor system health? So what types of tools are we aware that technicians might use to monitor the health of a computing system? So first of all, there's Task Manager. Task Manager is a very handy little tool on a Windows system that's going to allow you to see how many different tasks are running on the device, and also let you close tasks to manage system memory. So sometimes you can have too much going on your computer, and by using Task Manager, you can reduce the load on the CPU so that you can see maybe what's causing the problem. Additionally, there's the event viewer, which is going to give you a window or view into the different computing events that are happening on the device. There are performance tools that are going to help you manage your Wi-Fi connection, also performance tools in measuring how much of the RAM you're potentially using on any particular application, and essentially device tools. And also to support these tools, basic command line interface utilities, basically, that you can use in the command line. Also, there are some simple bash scripting scripts that you can use in the command line to help you better understand what types of issues might be happening on a system. So it's all about simple tools to diagnose very specific problems that might indicate other issues, whether it's limited bandwidth, a lack of a connection, all sorts of little items like that. So it's just about digging into what those are and knowing they exist, especially when you're starting to do some troubleshooting. So one thing that you're going to want to know as an entry-level technician is, here's a situation where the computer's running in an extreme temperature. What's going wrong with this particular device? Well, how would you troubleshoot it? And so you're going to want to be able to utilize these tools to be able to read what the system is already being able to communicate to us. So it's these first tools that are often some of the tools to help you just understand what's happening with the system that I can take that information from. So definitely one thing to notice is, definitely on a Windows PC, take the opportunity in the Windows search bar, type in Task Manager, open that up and check that out at any one point, just to see how that interface works. But speaking of, so why is monitoring system performance important? Why is that important? That's some of the troubleshooting that you might do to understand. So you're going to want to use monitoring tools to see if that's happening, and basically see the trends. Basically see trends before they become issues or longer term problems. And you'll also become more aware of what is a normal amount of CPU usage for this device than when it has an issue. And so when you see slow performance, you might also be able to diagnose the performance. So if something's going slow or not running right, you can go into Task Manager, see how many resources are being used at that time on the device, and you can also see which resources are using it. Maybe there's too many Chrome browsers open. Maybe there's a piece of software, like a heavy software, that's pulling resources and making that device run slow. That connects to the power of the CPU, the memory, and also storage. And what you're going to see is there's different startup apps that stay running in the background. Sometimes you want to be able to shut those apps down so that they're not pulling and draining the computer from resources. And there's also some essential and non-essential background processes that are happening on the computer, that if something's wrong with one of those processes, that could also be creating an issue. So it's all little troubleshooting things that kick off the cycle. Start that initial, if I were to troubleshoot this, where would I look? All right, next question, here we go. So our next question is, why should entry-level technicians learn basic scripting and automation. So why would an entry-level technician learn basic scripting and automation? So with basic scripting and automation, the thing you want to remember is that simple scripts help reduce repetition. So scripts help take a process and make it repeatable, and also can improve automation, improve consistency. If an issue keeps happening, often a script can be used to streamline what's happening with an issue. So, you might, with certain scripts, you're going to be able to use them to streamline process and also maybe potentially automate another process. And then you might also run a script to check Wi-Fi access at certain times of days or certain locations. So scripts are basically used for repetitive tasks so that you can also then potentially improve automation and system checking. And then one thing I want to add to this topic around scripting is just, it's definitely like a career accelerator in that. And what I mean by a career accelerator, and I actually made an infographic to discuss this, is what I mean by a career accelerator is it's a tool that will allow you to advance how you process tasks. So by knowing how to write a script or knowing how to implement a specific script in an environment that automates a task, that's a really cool skill that can be applied in different ways to improve processes. And when business processes are improved quickly and automation is improved quickly, people like it. It's a marketable skill. So when you think about scripts and you think about automation and tasks and the skills associated, start to think about systems and how they connect and how these scripts, if you were to do this in a work environment, how much that's really a very valued topic. It's just really kind of a super valued topic. And by doing so, it streamlined other work and can make work easier and more efficient. And that's the real goal. That's the stuff people really like. And basically, it's the ability to write a little piece of code or a little piece of a script or a command to perform a function that can automate a task. And then automation can come from that because you're basically automating a process. Automation is what happens when things start to happen automatically because of something driving them. And that's why we're bringing those. It's kind of like we were talking about virtualization and cloud computing. They're separate topics, but they're also connected in that one connects to the other. You can't necessarily have cloud computing without a form of virtualization. The same thing here. You can't have automation potentially without a form of scripting driving the actions. Automation's like the cool outcome. Oh, I have this really cool form letter from someone that's already been created for me through a script. That's the outcome, is having this really cool thing from a process being made automatic. So it's just an extension of that word. So you're going to see automation in a lot of different forms, and you're going to see scripting in a lot of different forms, but they work together. So it's good to be able to talk about the terms like this because these are terms that can often get confused when people do reading and get into it. You can kind of be like, well, what's automation? Well, it's connected to scripting, but it's not the same. But it is connected. Career coaching questions. Here we go. How do automation skills help technicians grow beyond entry-level roles? So I mentioned it a little bit, but how do automation skills help technicians grow beyond their entry-level role? How do you think that could happen? You're also thinking about the processes involved. You're thinking about utilizing the technology to solve problems. So definitely with automation, knowing how to write a script that automates a task, and I know I'm combining the terms again, but essentially knowing how to create something that's automated and creates an automation of a process adds to business efficiency. So if you're in your entry-level role and you know how to write scripts, you're basically thinking about, now that I have this technology in front of me, this data, this information, are there ways that I can make the systems work more efficiently for the environment I'm in? And that's where the real thinking comes in, because you're taking and working within an environment and you're improving the work in the environment by automating something that maybe someone had to enter something by hand before, and now they don't need to. You wrote a script that automated a task. If you're able to do that, that's going to move your cachet as an IT person up a couple levels, because you know how to do it. You've improved a process, and businesses love improved processes. Career coaching question. What skills help move someone from support into system or infrastructure roles? So, what skills do you think you need to move from a support role into more of an infrastructure support role or a system support role? So, think about it this way. So, it's heavily focused on how do I fix this or identify this problem, or all right, here's a piece of hardware that might be broken. So those are all tasks that are essentially entry-level tasks where it's like someone brings you something, you're going to try to fix it, you're going to try to repair it, you're going to try to understand how do we make this work better. Now, those are a majority of entry-level positions really rely on a person being able to do that. The thing to remember is that with automation and understanding, if I write a script and then I'm able to automate something, it shows that you have systems thinking, that you have now maybe moved past just being able to fix something that was immediately brought to you. And you've worked long enough in an environment that you understand how the systems are working together, which is definitely shows systems knowledge and systems, new experiences with systems where you understand that how they work well enough that you can create an automation process. And that's like another kind of part of a deeper role. And remember, these systems now are also connecting to administration of tasks, cloud security, cloud infrastructure, and also cybersecurity and security. So the systems and those topics that get excited, like cybersecurity, those are existing everywhere now. So if you're able to understand the systems and then apply your knowledge more deeply, it's definitely going to allow you to grow. So you're troubleshooting and you're fixing the first tier of problems that happen to people when they're just using the technology. But you have to remember that this technology sits on a larger ecosystem. It sits on a network with servers. And that backbone of the network is its own technology itself.